Alrighty, so I'm gonna show this video here right now. This video has generated 40 window replacement leads in the last, I would say, week or so, right? And we have about 10 of them, right, running. Not just from this lady, but from multiple videos, multiple avatars. And then I'm gonna actually show you how this works, right? The cool thing about it is this lady you see here, she's not real. She's AI generated, right? You can actually see the facial features, the hair, walking down the street. Like it's, even the freckles and everything, it's like all realistic, right? It's crazy how, like, I'm going to actually show you how we able to create this video and also how we're able to use this to create, how you can use this to create, leads, high quality leads for your business. Let me just share the other screen as well. Um, all right, yeah. So that's the video. I mean, the presentation, right? So how to use AI to generate 40 to 50 window replacement leads daily. So first of all, let's talk about what the problem is right now, right? So generic ads are a problem. Most lead gen that you see right now relies on direct response, right? It's people going directly to say, you know what, um, do you want this? Come get it, right? The problem is, I mean, you can see ads for window replacements, right? That if you just basically pull this through to from the Facebook ads library, right? So it's basically something, okay, you know what, for a limited time, this is letting you trade in your old windows for credit toward the brand, and then the picture is like a brochure type looking picture. This is another one, right? Winter is better when you can enjoy the view inside and out. We're offering you two free pair of icon session passes just for replacing the windows, right? Um, that's another picture. That's another one. Just direct response. It works, right? But then the problem is this is targeting the 3% of the people that everybody's targeting, right? And the problem is it's overdone, right? So it becomes noise. The homeowner has heard this message so many times. If if you actually see how it works, right? If you just go to Meta or Facebook and react to one of these videos or pictures, you start getting the same thing sent to you over and over again, just in different methods. So it's like, so imagine this one, right? So it says US residents are getting their windows replaced from this program. um Shock 2025 update. Priority will be given to families with seniors, children, or people with disabilities, right? The kind of, and then if I mean, there might be a program, but then if you actually click on this link and then go to the end of it, you probably see that they're just basically trying to get a lead. What kind of lead do you think will come through this kind of ad? It's someone that is window shopping, price, price comparison, and then you get low contact rates. That's the problem with this kind of lead generation, right? So if your lead vendor is doing this and you're having issues, you can't contact half of them or even more than half of them. This is the problem, right? This is the problem. The problem is, like, it's not that they don't want new windows, right? It's that you're speaking to everyone with the same information, with the same messaging, and that means you don't cut through the noise. You don't cut through the noise. So what is the solution, right? So how to do things differently is to have personalization at scale, right? And how do we do personalization at scale? The good thing about it is, like, AI has made it so much easier for us to do. I'll show you how that works. But the idea is everybody's an individual. Everybody has different issues, different pain points that they are going through. So why not flip the script and talk to that pain point, right? So for example, um, we don't market to homeowners age 35 to 65 living in New Jersey. Come get windows. No, you market to Sarah, the 38-year-old mom who's embarrassed that her book club comes over and then her living room is cold, and she has to, like, bust out the space heater. And people are saying, okay, oh, her mates are saying, why is your house so cold? But that's embarrassing, right? So the idea is, if you have an ad that's talking to this pain point, it's so much more different. It's so much more precise, to what she's going through, right? So when she sees that ad, she's not thinking like, oh, it's another window company trying to sell me new windows or energy efficient windows. She's thinking, this person is in my head and this person actually gets me, right? And when you achieve that feeling, you can sell to anyone. So when we run this kind of ad and then we give these leads to our partners, they're like, oh my wow, this person actually. I mean, they pick up the phone, they know who they're speaking to. They're actually eager to come get to be called by that person because they you feel as if that person is in your head, right? So this is something that needs to change, right? I mean, if people are selling leads with the old process, then I think you need to kind of rethink your process. So what's the process? What's the new process? How do we get leads that are high quality and that personalized? So first of all, we create customer avatars. And this is not the one where you sit down in a focus group and then you have like a worksheet and everything. We're talking about deep psychological profiles that is based on real data, right? So we have an AI app that we actually use um to get. Actually, maybe I can actually show it. Let me go pull it up. So it's an AI app which we call the Empathy Engine, right? Let me make sure this is showing up on the screen. Okay, all right, cool. That's good. Right? So we can actually finally know the exact words that make your customer say, "This guy gets me." Right? So let's just try. For example, we have window replacement New Jersey, and then we run that, and then we actually go in and mine, customer reviews, scan on Reddit and forums where people are actually hanging out and talking in their own language, and then finally we now generate marketing hooks to actually get to that client. So we let that run for a while, and then we'll get back to it. So basically, everybody wanting new windows has a specific reason why. And we're not talking about the generic, energy efficient, save on energy bills type, reason why. There's a deeper reason why, right? So imagine having avatars that's like, what, Emily that's embarrassed, right? Her friends comment on how cold it is when they visit. Or Sean has noise coming from the intersection that keeps him up at night, right? Or we have Amy that is, suffering from, dust coming through. Or we have, Rachel that wants to sell her house in 6 months, but the inspectors report flag the windows and she needs to fix that, or else, she probably won't get top dollar for her house, right? So we build a proper avatar, right? Which is Maria, who she is. She's a mom. She has two kids, right? So she has rising energy bills and a drafty house. And then this is her the pain points that she's worried about. She's worried about the high cost of window replacement. She's overwhelmed by the number of choices because, yeah, these people get bombarded with lots of choices. So the people that actually get the reason why they want this replacement are the people that will actually get the job in the end, or get the contract, right? So the thing is, at these specific reasons, we use AI to do the research that would have taken weeks, right? So we find out where they're hanging out, and then we go in and then actually pull information. This should be done by now. Yeah, perfect. All right. So when the report is actually get this pulled up, we have the what we call the pain priority matrix, right? What pain points are the people complaining about, right? They have high pressure sales tactics, poor communication, people are getting ghosted, installation issues, and then the best part about this is actually how many times are this being mentioned, right? Because this will also tell you what to focus on, right? So poor communication obviously is actually one of the biggest ones, right? So you have no idea how lonely it feels when your contractor ghosts you. Beautiful, beautiful line to actually use for a hook to get a window replacement lead, right? Then the next step is now we now go to all the competitors and then we pull their reviews, right? So worst reviews, best reviews, right? This is actual the client speaking in their own words, right? This is the client speaking in their own words. We can actually pull this and then use AI to analyze where we can actually go in and flip the script, right? So for this company, we have the reviews are generally positive, but it's hard to find a significant weakness. Some mention long lead times. Okay, fine. Then we can skip that. So no significant weakness found, but then the focus here is on price and honesty. Here, some negative reviews mention issues with order accuracy, and then we can actually go and implement a rigorous quality control, right? So that's where we can actually flip the script. And in our ads, we talk about how we have the quality control process for this company, right? So all this research is how you now go to the market with like a huge advantage, right? And I haven't even showed you the best part about this, right? So we now have the viral content strategy, right? So where we can actually pull the the avatars. So we had the skeptical engineer, right? He has distrust of customer contractor claims without concrete evidence, right? Vague quotes and hidden costs. So then we now know what they're complaining about. Then we now actually have hooks that we can actually go use to create these videos. I wish someone told me this before I started my window replacement, right? Tells you what the video should be about, why it works. And then so we have for this person, for this avatar, we have five different hooks we can go to the market with, right? So imagine having five of these avatars, right? Where I mean, this the research is deep. We can actually go, as I said, this is what we call personalization at scale, right? So one thing that actually matters, which we also need to make sure that is why the language, what we call voice of client, voice of customer, VOC, right? It's critical because we need to explain the pain, right? We need it in their own words, not ours, because that's how they will understand that this person actually gets me. Because we can say it back to them exactly how they said it. This is actually huge in sales, right? You kind of in sales you ask the person what their problems are, and then you repeat it back to them. Even in communication, right? If you're having like therapy with marriage counseling or whatever, they always tell you, with your spouse, when they ask you about something or when they complain about something, you tell them that you hear them, and then you repeat it back to them, just so that they know that you actually get what the pain is. So, for example, we have this video, right? So this is the lady I was telling you about, right? So we have a woman who's lived in her home for 6 years. This is information that we got from the research, right? She has drafty windows and always has to turn on the space heater, even though the central heating is on, right? So imagine having that information. There's no way we would have, gotten that without, specific, without AI research, right? So imagine you being able to now actually go and say, you know what, why I threw out my space heater. So that's one video. We have another video where she's actually with a blanket on the street, right? I can't believe I waited 6 years to do this. My bedroom used to be an ice box. This is the actual words from the research that we got, right? The real reason your bedroom is freezing, the real reason why your bedroom is freezing, even with a space heater, right? So that's 5 videos, 6 videos out there generating leads from specific avatars. And then the best thing about this is the platforms are so clued in. Meta, YouTube, they know what problems is like. It's crazy, like Big Brother, right? They know what problems that we are facing. They know when someone is complaining about having to turn on the space heater, and they will take that video and target that video to the actual person, right? So that's why these videos will actually hit directly, and then we can actually personalize this at scale, right? So how do you scale this? How do you go from one video to multiple avatars, right? This is where it actually gets powerful, right? You don't just create one. We're gonna have multiple, like the ones I was showing you here, right? So we have embarrassed Emily, Sean that is disrupted. We have Amy, we have Rachel, right? We actually have all these avatars, live, and we are walking through all of them. So we have old, young, male, female, married, single, parents, empty nesters. Each of them have a different pain point, and each of them gets a different ad, right? So, for example, you have a 28-year-old first-time homeowner. He's like, okay, you know what? I don't want to get ripped off like my dad did. Maybe they had that story. They know someone that was actually ripped off, right? So, and then you might think this is the only person that has this problem. No, homeowners are terrified of getting ripped off, or they probably know a story of someone that actually got ripped off by a contractor, right? So this is just this 28-year-old talking about his problem, but then they can relate because they had that problem as well too, right? Or the 55-year-old retiree, that just wants this done before the grandkids show up for Christmas, right? So if we what we do is like if we run all this simultaneously, Facebook shows each ad to the right person. We're just giving them the ammunition. We're just giving them the videos. You know what? Here you go. Have at it, right? 20, 30 videos. And then that's how we can generate 40 to 50 window replacement leads daily, right? So this is a picture of Sarah, we call her, right? So we're showing her from different multiple angles, and then we can use this to generate the videos, right? So again, this is the future of lead gen, right? It would be irresponsible for your lead vendor not to be using this, or you not to be using this in your company, right? Um, it is what we call personalization at scale. The window companies that understand this will dominate their markets, like for real. And the ones that don't, you keep buying recycled leads from aggregators that have spoken to 10, 20 other customers, and then you're wondering why you're not able to reach them, right? So you kind of have a choice at this point. Keep running energy efficient window ads, and then just blend in, be meh like everybody, as they say, right? Or you start speaking to the actual people, the Steves, the Sarahs, the Marias in your market, right? So that's how we do it. That's how we generate leads for our partners. If you want to join us, and if you want us to help you generate, high quality window replacement leads that convert into actual jobs, then yeah, click the link in the description below, and yeah, we'll be there to actually help. Looking forward to talking to you. All right, have a good one.